Welcome to our 2022 Clipper 17 VHS. Starting right in the back bumper here, if you just reach in, pull that cap out of there, inside of the back bumper you're going to find your sewer hose. Take note of those two ears in the adapter here, that's help you hooking it up to your sewer system. The hose itself, once fully extended, is about 20 feet long. Just keeping it stored in the back bumper back here, just help keep any sort of stench out of the unit, keep things that bit pressure for you, and that cap just presses back into place. In this corner, as well as in each corner of the trailer, you're going to find these stabilizer jacks here. So what they do is they just run down, contact the ground, give it another turn or so just to firm it up, and that'll just get rid of any sort of bounce or sway that you see you got in the unit right now to keep things firm while you're out camping. A step ahead from there, we get your sewer system. So that cap, if you just kind of press on it, you can turn it and pull it off of there. You see it's got the same two ears on it that your sewer hose had, so that'll attach the same way, where you're just pressing it on, giving it that turn, and it clicks into place. On the left you get a gray valve, on the right you get a black, so that black valve is controlling your black tank. Your black tank is of course filled from your toilet, so that's going to be your dirtiest water, so we'll be dumping that first. Once that's done, you can then come to the gray. The gray tank is going to be filled from your sinks as well as your shower. We'll dump that last just to help keep that hose as clean as possible. Up from there we get your power cord, so as you pop that open you're going to find that 30 amp end on your cord there. Most campsites will have that. You can just plug straight on in and you're good to go. The cord itself, once fully extended, is about 25 feet long. Down below that you're going to find your cable and satellite outlet, or inlet, sorry. So cable on the left, satellite on the right. Coax cables are plug into their respective ports and fire up at your TV location. A step forward, we get the exhaust for your furnace there, so if you're ever running your furnace, you just want to make sure that's not blocked off. It does get hot. Towards the front, we get your fresh water inlet, so you pop that cap out of there and your water hose will stick into there, turn on the water, and that fills up your fresh water tank. You know that tank is full once it starts spitting water out of the vent just on the side here. Down below that is your city water connections. The same water hose just plug into there, turn on the water, and that'll pressurize the lines throughout the unit. The drain for your fresh water tank is just right back here, so you get that little cap there. You're just going to unthread that, and the tank will drain itself out. So I'm just going to let that go for a minute here. Storage compartment here, so as you open that up you get a little finger on the left side there, holds it open for you. Inside of here you'll find a water hose. Inside of that water hose you'll find your 30 amp adapter. So your 30 amp cord will plug into there, 15 amp will go into a standard household outlet. So if you're looking to charge your batteries or run your fridge, you got the power to do so. Around front of the unit you get this little black box here, so inside of that black box is your battery. So as long as they're plugged into that short cord in the back or your 7-pin to tow vehicle, that battery is charging for you. Underneath this cover here is your propane tank. So if you just reach in, follow that hose in, you're going to find that valve there. You're just going to turn that to open it up. It's just a standard 20-pound barbecue style propane tank. Yep. Up front you get the standard tongue jacks, one way's up, the other way's down. Side of the unit you get a little solar panel plug in right there, so just a 2-prong plug into there and you can charge your batteries. Other end of your storage compartment. So inside of here you'll find that little jack. It's just for running all your stabilizers. Back by the door we get your GFI protected outlet. Resets just inside of the unit. Straight up from there you'll find 2 exterior speakers. In between them you'll find your stove vent. So of course propane stove inside is putting off fumes whenever you're using it, so you just want to make sure this flap here is opened up so that your fan inside can evacuate those fumes. Once you're done you're just going to kind of press it into place and that'll close off that flap, prevent any dust from kicking up in there. Service port for your fridge here, nothing really back there for you to worry about. It is just for service really. Down below that you'll find little point drains, so just the same sort of caps. You're just going to unscrew those, opens up the water system, allows it to drain itself out. Purpose of that would be if you're leaving the unit for a while and you don't want your water going stale or stagnant, you can drain it out before you leave. Secondly would be for winterizing. You can just drain all the water out before pumping antifreeze through. In the back here you get a little leash link, so if you got the dog out with you, you can tie him down. And right in the back here you get an exterior shower, so you're going to get a little key just like this little guy there. You can open her up. Standard 3-foot hose, hot and cold water, so the dog's out getting muddy, you can spray him off before he gets inside. Tucking that hose back in and then lock it back down. Spare tire in the center there. Straight up from there you'll find a pre-wired mount for a rear view or observation camera. And then beside your spare tire you'll find your hot water tank. So that keyway there, you just line that up and you can pop it on open. All your controls for turning this guy on are just inside of the unit. Before we ever turn it on though, we just want to hit that relief valve right there and make sure that shot of water comes out. A bit of water coming out of there is just letting you know that tank is full. It's safe to fire it up and you're not going to burn anything out by doing so. Once we get inside and fire it up in propane, we'll go over a reset procedure, and the button that I'll refer to is just right here. Once you're done, you're just locking it back down with that keyway, and then we'll make our way inside of the unit. Your assist handle up 90 degrees and it falls into place, and you can open up your door. Your door is just on a friction hinge, so it just kind of sits wherever you leave it. And I will just point out that if you've got it wide open, you do contact your awning arm. So if you're running your awning, you just want to make sure that your door is going to move 90 degrees or so. For the steps, you're just going to pull that yellow handle over either way, and you can slide them on out. You get the little quick pin on either side. You can pull that out, and you can extend or retract your legs based on your campsite needs. Once you get inside, first things first, right on the left, we've got your fire extinguisher. So that's standard, pull the pin, point, and shoot. Kind of up the wall from there, we get your GFI protected outlets. A test on the left, reset in the center. So if you ever have outlets that don't work, it's the first thing you should check. Thermostat right above that, so that's for your furnace solely. That slider all the way over to the left, that's it turned off. All the way over to the right, it's going to be max heat. Anywhere in the middle is kind of your temperature selection, and then you get your little readout in the bottom there. So up top here, we get your ceiling light is right in the center right there. On the far right, we get your awning light, just as a little strip outside. So real quick, while that furnace is going, we're just going to step into the back. And I'll just point out that is your furnace right there. So that is your one duct for it. You can shoot left and right, or you can shoot up and down, right? And then also, if you have this door opened up, you'll find that little switch right there. So that is a safety switch. If you've got this door open, you can see it does block off that outlet. So it's just kind of, it just shuts off the furnace once you've got that door open. So if you're trying to run your furnace, you just want to make sure that door is closed. Once you're done, you're sliding it all the way over to the left until it clicks, and that's it turned off. So we've been through a couple of those lights there, so we'll do your awning now real quick. So press and hold extend, and that awning will make its way out. Once that awning's fully extended, you're just going to see a little black flap come down, as well as the black of the metal tube. Once you see that, you're going to want to stop. If you're to continue extending, it can actually wind itself up backwards, in which case the fabric will be underneath the tube, allowing it to then hold water, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. So it's just a little sticky today, so we're just going to come back a little bit, and that flap will come down for us. There we go. And then there's the tube, so we'll stop right there. Now if it were to start raining, it's of course going to hold some water anyways, so what you can do is grab either arm, front, or rear, make sure that little knob is loosened off, and you're going to pull it straight in, tighten down that knob, and then you can see that changes the pitch of the awning out at the head, allowing water to then run off. Now if you like that angle better, because it does give you more shade, you can do the same thing with the arm up front. Before you bring it back in though, you just want to make sure those knobs are loosened off and the arm's fully extended, just so we're not running the risk of bending anything. Then we can press and hold the track, the awning will make its way back in. Again, we're just watching to make sure that our fabric is over top of the tube. And another thing to keep in mind with your awning is once you get up to about 15-20 kilometers an hour wind, you do want to bring it back in, just because it's catching all that wind and you do run the risk of bending your arms. Right beside that, we get your slide out switch. Just press and hold the bottom of that, and your slide will make its way out. Once that slide's fully extended, you're going to hear some clicks from the motors letting us know they've reached their stall. There we go. Straight up above that, center left there, we got your water pump switch. So as you turn that on, turns on your water pump, drawing out of your fresh tank to pressurize your lines. On the left, we get your water heater switch. So you turn that on, you get that little red light up there letting you know the ignition sequence will start. Once that light goes out, the sequence has started. It'll try that 3 times. If after the 3rd try it hasn't fired up, it's at that point we'll be going and using that reset button that we'd shown you. So stood right here, you can hear the click of the igniter and the whir of the flame. We know that tank is good. Up top we get your monitor system. So on the left there we got batteries. You can see we're currently C for charging, G would be good, F is spare, L is low. Your fresh tank, as you fill that up, you go to 1/3, 2/3 and full. Same idea for your black and your gray. Stereo's right down below. It's pretty straightforward. Power button there turns it on, also turns it off of course. It is also your mute button as well, so when you're turning it off, you're pressing and holding. To mute it, you just press. Zone 1 is going to be your inside set of speakers. Zone 2 is your outside set. Mode to cycle through all of that, and then there's all your presets across the bottom as well. Right on the other side of the entrance, we got your TV backer right there, so you get a power outlet for it, as well as your antenna outlet for it right here. Turning that antenna on, you're just hitting that button there. You get that little green light letting you know that antenna's turned on. All your AV inlets and outlets, they're just hooked into your stereo already. Right above your head by the entrance, we've got your smoke detector. Storage across the top here. Right above the bed, there's also a little light there, just in its own center push button. So you can see you get your power outlet as well as the USB outlet in the back corner there. If we pick up the bed, you get access to that front storage compartment. And if you're looking to winterize the unit yourself, once it comes time, 2 screws right there, you can get this panel out of the way and you get access to your water pump. Also right down here, we've got your LP detectors. Propane's heavier than air, it sits on the floor. This guy detects it and starts going off just like a smoke detector would. And your slide out is just your dinette, plain and simple. You have the 2 table legs here, you got the little locks on them, you just undo those, you can fold the legs in. The table will then sit down onto the little ledges that you have on either side there. We'll take the back cushions, fill in the dinette to create a bed. In the kitchen, you get your storage up top here. So there you're going to find a binder. That binder's got all your owner's manuals in it, all your keys, anything like that for the unit you'll find right in there. Above the sink is a little light, so hot and cold water, of course, with the mobile head there. Your sink cover is also made of the same material as your counter. Storage down below. Microwave up top. Pretty standard, just like home. Then we get your range vents, you got light as well as your fan. So that's that fan that you want turned on with that flap outside opened up whenever you're running your stove. The bifold cover just flips on back. You're going to grab a lighter, start with the back to burner. Fires right up. I will just mention that the first time you go to use your propane system, especially if you've been away from the unit for a while, will take a minute to fire up just because it'll have to clear all the air to the propane lines. That's perfectly normal. Just flips back down once you're done. And then off to the side here we got your fridge. It's pretty straightforward. Just hit the power button there and it turns on. It's fully automatic after that. Firstly, it's going to be looking for AC power. If AC power is taken away, it'll automatically flip over to gas. Get your freezer up top and your fridge down below. Down below the fridge, you got your converter. Press the top and center and it pops on open. You get all of your breakers on the left side there. Whenever a breaker breaks, it's going to sit in the center, so just turn it off and then back on to reset it. And on the right side, we get all of your fuses. And right above our heads, we've got your air conditioner. So you get your 2 low fan settings. And after that, you get high fan. So the fan setting is just moving air around. There's no cooling involved in that. After that, you get into low cool. From low cool, you're of course getting your compressor coming in to give you cooling with the low fan going. And then high cool is your compressor going with the high fan. Once you're done, just turn that off. You get a little louver on either side so you can kind of choose where you're shooting your air. You'll notice you have a temp selection knob here as well. Typically you're just going to leave that in max cool. It does have the option there for heat. That would be if the air conditioner had a heat pump installed. It does not. We've got a dedicated furnace, so your heat will not work through there. In the bunk space, you got a little light just on its own center push button, USB charging in the back. The emergency exit here, you're pulling that red tab to get rid of the screen, take this handle here, throw it outside, hop on out. Blinds throughout the unit, just on a tension system, just kind of sit wherever you leave them. And pretty well identical down below, just minus the window. If you're looking to winterize the unit yourself, once it comes time, you're just going to pull this mattress out of here. You got a little plywood panel underneath it. You're going to lift that up and slide it off to the back, and you get access to your hot water tank in the back corner. And then into the bathroom here.